Welcome back, Pre-Algebra. We're in lesson 28 today, and we are going to talk about improper fractions. Now, in some of our problems in the past, we have been using mixed numbers, for instance, 2.5, right? Now, one of the things that algebra just doesn't like is mixed numbers. And so in order to do certain operations within algebra, we have to put mixed numbers back into an improper fraction format. And an improper fraction format is where the number on top might be divisible by the number on the bottom. Okay, the number on the top is bigger than the number on the bottom. So this mixed number, the way we would put this into an improper fraction, recognize that this whole number is number of parts. So we would multiply the whole number times the denominator and add that to the numerator. That would be how we would create the improper fraction. So what that means is 2 times 2 would be 4 plus 1. So that would equal 1 plus 4 over 2. Okay, so can you see 4 over 2 is the same value as 2 right here, because 4 divided by 2 is 2, and we're adding it to that remainder of 1 right here. So the improper fraction that represents 2.5 is 5 over 2. And that is how we create that improper fraction. Now, we want to use an improper fraction in algebra for a variety of reasons. Sometimes it's because we need to simplify a number. Sometimes it's because we need to reduce a fraction or factor and cancel out some numbers. And we just can't do that if it is in mixed number form. We also can't do that if it's in a decimal form. So typically, algebra does not like to use decimals either unless it's the final answer. So we try to stay away from decimals, and we try to stay away from mixed numbers if at all possible once we get into the higher algebra classes. We typically, the first step we do is to get rid of all of our mixed numbers. So let's look at converting some improper or some mixed numbers into improper fractions. Okay, so we'll start with example 28.2, and we have 7 and 4 over 9 is the mixed number. And what we need to do is turn that into an improper fraction. So we're going to say 7 times 9 plus 4, and all of that is going to be over the denominator of 9. So that would equal, that's your whole number times the denominator plus the numerator. So W times D plus N. Okay, the whole number times the denominator plus the numerator. So 7 times 9 is 63, plus 4 is going to give us 67 over 9. Now we can check this to make sure. All we have to do is put this in long division and say 67 and divided by 9. 9 goes into 67 7 times. 7 times 9 is 63. 4 is your remainder. So we would put 4, remainder of 4 over 9. That's the same thing we started with right here. So we know that this one is correct, right? That is how you would check your work to make sure you got this right. Divide this number by the denominator, and if you come back up with the same mixed number you started with, you're good. But the process is the whole number times the denominator plus the numerator, and you put all of that back over the denominator. And that's how you would do that. Okay? That is your formula for changing a mixed number to an improper fraction, which is what we prefer to have in algebra. We prefer the improper fraction. So let's look at how we could possibly put a mixed number into a decimal. Let's look at that. So if we have a mixed number, let's say we have 3 1/8, and let's say we don't need it to be in a fraction format. We need it to be in a decimal format. This is our final answer. We've done our division, and we want to have a decimal as an answer. One of the things that we can do is we can take this value here. This is a division problem. All fractions are division problems waiting to happen. So we're going to take 1 and divide it by 8. That's what we're going to do. And then the 3 is already a whole number. It's fine by itself. We don't have to do anything with that. So we're just going to leave the 3 here, and we're going to divide this 1 by 8 to find the decimal that goes. So I'm going to take 1 right here, put it in my long division, and I'm going to put a couple of zeros here. Let's do 3 zeros, just to see if we need that many. And now I'm going to divide that by 8. All right, I'm going to remember to take my decimal straight up and put it right there. Now I'm going to say 8 into 1. I can't put 8 into 1. 1 is less than 8, so that's a 0. All right, so now I move to the next place, and that makes this a 10, right? 8 goes into 10 one time. 1 times 8 is 8. So now I'm going to subtract 8 from 10. 10 minus 8 is 2. I'm going to bring down my next digit because I can't get 8 into 2, but I can get 8 into 20. 8 goes into 20 2 times. 2 times 8 is 16. I'm going to subtract that and see what's left. I have a 4. So I'm going to bring down the final 0. And let's see if I can get 8 into 40. Yes, I can. 8 times 5 is 40. So I write my 40 here. I subtract it, and I have nothing left. So that means this is my decimal. So I'm just going to add this to my 3. So my whole number that I had to start with plus 0.125 is going to equal 3.125. The way that works is 3 already has a decimal behind it. We just usually don't write it there. So that would be 000 plus 0.125. We just combine them like that. And that's our answer. 3.125. But if we had had that 3 on there, it would have taken a lot longer. So we just accept that the 3 is already our whole number, and we just want to find the decimal that is behind. Is because a fraction, a proper fraction, where you have a smaller number on the top and a bigger number on the bottom, is just a decimal. The reason we like fractions is because they're easier to factor, but also because you can write them quickly. It's 2 numbers, you're done. With a decimal, sometimes a decimal, this is 4 numbers. So sometimes a decimal takes a little bit longer to write, and this is just a little bit faster. Okay, so there is that. But you can turn a fraction into a decimal through long division. You just have to know the proper steps. Let's do another one. So we have 32 1/5. So we need to figure out what this decimal is. So I'm just going to say 32 plus, and then I'm going to find out what my decimal is. I'm going to divide 1, and I'm going to just put a couple of zeros on there just to figure it out. Bring up my decimal point, and I'm going to divide that by 5. Okay, well, 5 goes into 1 0 times. 5 goes into 10 2 times, because 2 times 5 is 10. We don't even need this other 0. I can stop right here. My decimal is 0.2. So 32 plus 0.2, that's going to be 32.2. that is my final answer. See how easy peasy that is? And all I did here was just 32.0 plus 0.2. You've got to put your decimal, you won't get the right answer. And then we just add everything together, and it's easy peasy. You can see how we got the same thing. All right, so that is how you would turn a fraction into a decimal. You just do the long division. That's why when you put it into the calculator does not give you a fraction. It gives you the decimal because it goes ahead and it does the division of all the parts. And I will see you in lesson 29.